Hello, welcome to another edition of the Pace Report. I'm Brian Pace reporting live here at Dizzy's Club Coca-Cola, here at Jazz at Lincoln Center here in New York City. Jazz vocalist and pianist Freddy Cole's latest CD is a tribute to one, his dear friend, as well as one of his mentors, the late Billy Eckstine. Tonight we're going to talk about the legacy of Billy Eckstine, as well as how he's made an impact both on the world of jazz as well as popular music.
Since nothing matters, go on, let it rain. I ask the sun, the stars that shine, what's to become of it? This love goes on and on. This love of mine,
A tribute to Mr. B. Congratulations on your Grammy nomination. And I have to ask you, of all the tributes of all the musicians in the world, why did you decide to do a record on Billy Eckstine?
well, actually, I don't call it no tribute. I just call it doing some material from the songbook of the late and great Mr. Billy Eckstine. He's always been a favorite of mine. He's a personal friend. And I just thought it was the right thing to do. And we had fun doing it. And we got a Grammy nomination. Of course, we didn't win it, but, you know, just to be in the ball game is a great achievement.
Growing up in Chicago, he used to come by you and your brother's house. And I guess he and your brother kind of set the tone for a couple of things. One, style. Two, the stylings and the tone of vocal. And two, the whole diaspora of the big band, because this big band produced a lot of great bebop legends.
Oh, yeah, he had a great band, you know. And B was, you know, he wasn't, people still don't know how great a person he was and a great musician he was, and a writer and arranger, and you know, of course, his singing stood out, you know, over all of that. But you know, he didn't have to take a back seat to anybody.
Those songs that you came up with to record on the album, I mean, his repertoire was so large. How did you narrow all of these songs down to 12 songs?
Process of elimination. Everybody brought in some, and we just went through them, and we finally settled with the 12 that we had, you know, and we had to cut off a whole lot more. But, you know, B was just that dynamic. You know, he recorded more. He and Nat and Frank Sinatra and Ella Fitzgerald recorded more than anybody in the business has ever met. So there's a wealth of material there, and a lot of the stuff he wrote.
You know, one of the songs that I love is Cottage for Sale. My grandparents used to play that religiously, and you covered it very well on this. What were some of his songs? What did they mean to you, and what do they mean to you now that he's gone? Because we talk about your brother all the time, but Mr. B seems like to be forgotten in the whole pop culture genre right now.
Yeah, that ain't right. You know, that ain't right. It's one of the reasons I wanted to do a project like that, because it just seems like it's just total disrespect of a person that big, you know, being in the business. You know, another one that they don't play much at all is Arthur Prysock, you know, and it's just not right. But they came out with some things that will live forever, and that's just the way it'll stand, you know. However it may be, B will be here.
I see your face, but when I reach that window, see a dream come true, and leaves on the ground, all the shades are down. It's a cottage for sale.
Tell me about your time with Billy Eckstine. I know that you spent some time with him in the 40s and the 50s, and he's a dear friend of yours. What are some of the things that he imparted on you, and what are some of the things that he imparted on vocalists like yourself?
Well, you know, if you watch and you pay attention, you learn some things, and that's, you know, it's just very hard to explain to the average layman the different things, the nuances that you can learn. So that's, you know, it's very difficult to do. But, you know, he left a lasting impression on a lot of people.
And to know that you are mine makes every impossible thing all seem right. And with my pretty one beside me, there's no place I would rather, 'cause I've got a treasure that no millionaire could conceive. What a way to spend the lifetime, seeing fantasy all come true. My life begun when my pretty one found me. Pretty one.
Let's talk about your origins. You grew up in Chicago, and your intent was to play professional football. And somehow, someway, God put you in a whole nother light getting into music like your brothers.
Well, my brothers, you know, they set a standard. But let's just say, like, God didn't want me to be out there and get killed on the football field. You know, just one of those things, man. You know, that's the way life evolves, you know, and you got to be prepared to live for life. And I've been very, very fortunate, been blessed, and, you know, and what else can I say, you know? Thank God I'm here.
In the 50s and 60s, your brother was dominant in the jazz and the popular vein, and you brought a whole nother voice to not only to the music, but also to music fans. What distinguishes yourself from not only Nat Cole, but Billy Eckstine and all the other great jazz vocalist pianists of your day?
I'm going to leave that question to you. I'm just trying to sound good and be professional. It's the only purpose I have in mind, is to make my audience happy and to get over, you know. Now, what it sounds like, what I'm trying to do technically, etc., I leave that to you and your critics.
Well, I will say this, that you have a more bluesy approach to how you sing and how you carry yourself, and blues was the music of the 20s, 30s, and 40s. Who were some of the musical blues influences that you used to listen to?
Well, growing up in Chicago, you heard so many of them. There again, you just can't single any one person out. There used to be a guy around Chicago named Dr. JoJo Adams, and you know, there was so many blues singers in and around there that it'd be very difficult for me to start. I'd have to stop and think long and hard about any one specific person, you know. But there were a lot of them, you know, a lot of things happening in Chicago, on the south side of Chicago.
What about piano players? Because that is another distinguishing trademark that you had too. Because piano is it's hard to do both, isn't it? It's hard to do both singing and playing piano at the same time, right? And entertain, because you're entertaining out there too.
Well, it's not easy, but over the years you learn how to do what you do best, and that's what I try to do. You know, I have a good group of musicians working with me, and we try to present a sound, and we swing, and that's the main thing. Play some toe tapping music and let the chips fall where they may.
When I used to swing on the south side of Chicago, hey, that was 63rd and College. That was beating hard. In a town where action first got its start, yes, and jazz was played on the south side of Chicago. I can still hear oh, Von Freeman blowing, and all those little honky-tonk joints, they were filled with people glowing while the cats were blowing. New Orleans is grooving, Memphis is right again. And who could ever put down New York? Oh God, when I tell you everything is on the south side of Chicago.
Freddie, you have amazingly gotten your second win right now. I mean, you're touring all over the world. I mean, you're constantly doing a week here in London, a week here in Greece, a week here in France. Your career now is taking on the second win. How do you feel about that right now? And what is it that you feel that your fans are picking up on right now at your age?
I don't know, I'm just carrying the story. You know, keep bebop alive, keep hope alive, keep jazz alive. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm a messenger, and I carry the message of love.
That'll do it again for another edition of the Pace Report. I'm Brian Pace reporting live here at Dizzy's Club Coca-Cola here at Jazz at Lincoln Center here in New York City. I'd like to personally thank Freddy Cole for his time, as well as the staff and management here at Dizzy's, as well as Jazz at Lincoln Center. As always, please visit my website, www.thepacereport.com, for my weekly column as well as my past segments. Until next time, remember, if it's in the groove, it'll make you move. Until next time, peace.
And oh, just to hear you laugh, that's beautiful music. It brightens up my darkest night. And to know that you are mine, it makes every impossible thing all seem right. With my pretty one beside me, there's no place I would rather be. If I've got a treasure